Hi there, Andre here from Peak Motorcycles. I'm here at EICMA 2023 and I'm at the rather noisy QJMotor stand here at the show. So I've seen QJMotor sort of come along over the last few years from having a lot of bikes that look like a lot of other bikes to having some of their own unique and original designs. So what I'm going to do now is do a quick walk around the stand. It is pretty big, there's a lot of bikes here and actually I don't know that much about them. So I will find out what I can from the boards as I go. And if there's anything that looks particularly interesting, I'll pause and cover that bike in a bit more detail. So where we're going to start today is with some supersports. Now QJMotor, they do sponsor a team in Moto2 as a race team. So anyway, here we go. So first up we have this bike that has a fairly skinny rear tyre, which sort of gives you an indication it's a 125. This is the SRK1000R. It looks like a big motorcycle from there on forwards, including that big hump tank. It does look kind of basic with a small dash and a simple switch gear. But again, for a 125, especially if it's a value price, yeah, that might be a good starter bike for somebody. A new bike that I haven't seen before of theirs is this SRK1000RR, which actually looks pretty good. It looks pretty unique. It's got a bit of aero on the front, not entirely sure if that's needed. But when you look at the spec and everything else that's on this bike, I think that actually looks pretty good. With that belly pan underneath there, you can see it's got the push drive at the rear. It's got a quite nice looking swing arm. You can see the adjustable suspension over there. To come up, show you the pillion seat and the seat. And then to look down on the dash, it's got a much bigger screen than the 125 you saw a moment ago. It's got a Marzocchi steering damper and fully adjustable forks. Coming down to the side there, you can see it's got Brembo brakes. To have a look from the other side, I can see it's got a power socket just there, and then coming down it's got those yellow wheels, are rather good. There's twin discs at the front, and then to come along the side, yeah, I mean, I think that looks pretty good. Single-sided swing arm, those yellow wheels look quite good. Something a little bit different. It's not a copy of something else that's exactly the same. So yeah, I don't really see many of them in the UK. But I don't know if that's just because they're not sold here yet. I don't think this is homologated, but I'm sure as and when it will, if it's priced right, it could do rather well. What we also have is a 500cc Supersports. This is the QJ 500GS7A. And it's quite a nice sort of blue, white and red livery, sort of bronze-coloured engine cover. Coming up and over, similar sort of spec to probably sits between the other two. So it's a slightly bigger dash, doesn't have the steering damper or anything else, but then again, if it is this one actually called a 550 Supersport, despite being a 500. Even from the front, that looks quite striking. So on this side now, we have the SRK1000, which is a 700cc naked, also available as a 550, which you see over there. And this one in the green and orange is actually slightly smaller. It's a 400cc, 400cc displacement bike. And yeah, again, I think that looks quite good. You don't see many bikes with that sort of colour scheme. So it's nice to see them doing something a little bit different. It's an SR14, I think, is the model. It's just got that single disc at the front with a QJMotor branded caliper. Give you a quick look at the spec sheet if you can see that. The writing is kind of small. So what we have here now on the fake grass and rocks is 3 adventure bikes. So the first one is their R650, 650cc adventure bike. That looks alright, with quite a steep front adjustable screen. Double seat, a nice cast alloy rack. Coming up and over, it does look a little bit simple, but then again, I'm sure it's priced accordingly. Some of the switch gear does look familiar from some of the other bikes that I've seen here. When I say here, I mean EICMA, not at this stand. But yeah, that's not a bad looking bike. That's the SVT 650. The front end looks a bit busy with all those lights, but at least it looks original. The next one I want to show you is the SRT 700X, which again looks a little bit more pointy at the front. It does have a beak, as so many bikes do. It doesn't have the adjustable screen. It comes with engine bars sticking out there at the side. They actually stick out quite a lot, so that's almost like a knee protector. Coming down low, you can see it's got that alloy swing arm. So the split seat where the pillion sits quite high up. Very high level indicators. And to come around the other side, again, yeah, let's give you a look down at there. Brembo brakes, once again, both front and back. And if I come up and show you this, that's that fixed windscreen on the bracket, which also doubles as a GPS bar. And again, fully adjustable forks. Sometimes these warning messages are kind of interesting. Must put on safety cap and showy protective clothes. Don't drive after drink and drug. Well, can't argue with that, can we? And this is the last bike I'd like to show you today here, which is the SRT1000RC. So again, it's another adventure bike, 800cc. Again, twin Brembos at the front. Quite an imposing front end. Also has a fixed windscreen. It does actually have quite a big dash, bigger than the other bikes, with a little USB charger in there. The switchgear looks like it's shared with the other bikes. And yeah, again, just coming down the side, it comes with these big engine bars, left and right. It's got rubber inserts in the pegs. The stock exhaust doesn't look terrible. And yeah, some grab rails and a rear rack. So yeah, you know what? That looks okay. I think there was a time when a lot of the bikes on these stands just look like direct copies, direct parallels with others that are out there. But it's nice to see them doing something quite unique and new. Now then, this is something which is a bit new, and certainly something I've never seen before here, not to this sort of level. This is the SRK1000RC. This is probably what's making a lot of the noise. I'm right up on the stage, so I'll try and hopefully you can hear me. So this is a 1000cc, it's the QJ1100GS 8C sports bike. This bike pumps out 108 kilowatts, 6-speed. Actually, that does look quite different. I tell a lie, it's an 1100, 1078cc, it says there. You see the single-sided swing arm with that glossy back wheel. It's got the rear sets up there. So my battery died mid-record there. It's still incredibly loud here, but I'm going to show you some close-up shots of this bike, because that really does look very, very cool indeed. That's the front end, you see the Öhlins fork there. You know, even the look from the front looks quite different to any supersports that are out there, with that big, long, clear screen. Coming up and over the top, you can see that Öhlins steering damper in there, the adjustable forks, and the dash in there. And if I turn the camera around and show you the seat, you know, that looks like something different, something new. And I think that is a cracking looking bike. I mean, that is something that has very much been designed, and it's not something that has just been copied from elsewhere. Those twin exhausts there as well. We just about see them down the sides, look quite cool. And a view down over the bike. Yeah, that really is quite special. Nice work, QJMotor. One thing I did just notice is that on the rear hugger here, there's actually a small camera. I wonder if that actually works in addition to the mirrors that are down there, or if it can be used without the mirrors as a mirror. Now on a slightly quieter corner of the stand, and they have this quite nice looking GSR 800. Again, 800cc supersports. I know this is becoming a bit repetitive. Brembo brakes. Fully adjustable suspension, a nice dash, just a really tidy looking bike. It's a race replica with some active aero on it. Again, probably not entirely necessary, but still, I don't think that's a bad looking machine. This is the SRK1000RR, which is a 800cc inline 4. So to finish up, I'm just going to show you some cruisers they have here. Now, I don't know a lot about cruisers, and lots of these, particularly the colour schemes, remind me a little bit of the Harley Sportster. However, this one is a small 350cc V-twin, available in a few different colours. That's the SRB 350 VS. Over here we have one of the black tank with iridescent lettering that is a 125. Here we have another 300S, this time in orange. Like I say, it looks a little bit sort of Harley Sportster-ish, but you know, tiny displacement. And then we have a 200cc over there. We have a 500 big single over there. Here we have this SRV, which is a 550 twin. You know, it's got that big front wheel. And then last but by no means least is this SRV 550, which has got, it's less of a cruiser, more of a sort of muscle bike look about it. Yeah, I think they've done a decent job of that. You know, it's they've got that sort of bronze-coloured engine casing. The stock exhaust isn't too bad. You know, the peg hangers looks properly made. And actually, seeing how the seat has been done, you know, this rear number plate hanger, which is so often a neglected part on a bike. Sometimes they just stick one on, but that looks nicely made. Yeah, nice sort of brown leather seat with quite high quality stitching. And that paint job with the pinstriping and sort of the iridescent finish is great. Lastly, the switchgear. You know, it's got this sort of soft touch plastics. It's a nice bit of feedback that comes through the buttons. The dash itself, it's not complicated. It looks like an LCD, which is a bit old school, I suppose, these days. But if it's clear, I'm sure it's fully functional. And you know what? I don't mind that at all. Like I said, we don't really get these bikes in the UK, so if you have them in your market, I'd be interested to know your experience of them. So that's it. That is my quick look around the QJMotor stand here at EICMA 2023. So yeah, interesting to see what they're doing. A few new bikes, especially in the supersports area. I think that 1100 sports bike really is something quite special. So yeah, I hope that has been interesting for you. If some of these bikes you're familiar with or you've got experience of owning one, please let me know. I am genuinely curious to know what they're like. So if that's been interesting and useful, please check out my other content from EICMA and maybe I'll see you there. Thanks for watching.